because we had a rule of like a no contact rule. Like we couldn't actually touch each other.
I think it was body stuff.
We definitely touched
It was body,
each other.
I think it was.
Right.
You couldn't do head is what it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, what did they just say?
No contact rule. Like we couldn't actually touch each other.
I think it was body stuff.
We definitely touched each other.
It was body, I think it was.
Right.
You couldn't do head is what it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's not what you think it is. Let's listen further.
Right.
You couldn't do head is what it was.
Right.
Yeah.
It was
You couldn't
only
go
body.
anything
And I
with the
just
back.
got socked in
Yeah,
the
and
side
you get
of the head.
right hooked or something by this dude.
Speaking of the snow hill,
See, shame on you and your dirty, dirty mind.
Doom, doo doom, doom, doo doom, 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 doo doom, doom, doo doom.
we were gone and now we're back. 2 weeks have passed. I'm sure you missed us greatly, but now we're back. We're so happy to have you, you non-salad eaters. And don't be meat beaters. Full of shit.
Yeah!
Yeah.
That was so good. That'd be a head bopping the whole time. Get the blood flowing. That was good. I like that.
All right, here we go. Welcome, listeners. We're mixing it up.
Oh my gosh.
Back to Full
bamboozled
of
me.
Shit.
Get me panicking for a second.
We've missed you.
I was expecting a wall to come down and we're like in the Colbert show or something. It's like the whole crowd of people.
Listeners just come in. They kick down the door. We're back. Some of you may have noticed, some of you may not. We were gone for 2 weeks. We were taking a little break as we're all students. We can reveal that. We're college students and needed to take a little hiatus as the semester started.
Yeah.
But now we're back. We're better than ever.
We are back and ready to just get this shit going again. It's been far too long.
This is like the rebirth.
The
right now.
cobwebs have built up too much, and it's time to get these gears turning
That's
once
right.
more. Get the machine churning.
If this podcast was Christ, and I don't think that's an unfair comparison to make. This podcast is similar in greatness to Christ. Not as great.
It's pretty close.
But it's close.
Yup, it's within a measurable distance.
If Christ was a 10, we'd be a 9.
Dang.
Well,
I'll take it.
we must strive
I'll take
to
that.
be
so
like
anyway,
Christ.
similar to Christ, we have rested for 2 weeks, and now we have rose again to judge the living and the dead.
It wasn't his like 3 days?
Yeah, but ours
I have
was
a
2 weeks
feeling
because
that,
we're not
like-
as great.
Ah,
We need a
fair
longer
enough.
incubation
meanwhile in
period.
Fair
Rome,
enough.
Pope Francis has this like radar. All of a sudden, like there's a boop, 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 blasphemy detected, and all of a sudden they're deploying like the Christian kill squads
Right.
are on their way.
Right, the Inquisitors are
Yup.
coming.
Somewhere in Spain, a bunch of dudes in red just look up and like, it's
Yeah.
time,
Finally,
compadres.
after all these years.
Unfortunately, we've already predicted them.
So we expect the Spanish Inquisition.
We fully
Nah,
expect the Spanish
That just
Inquisition.
means they're a couple steps ahead. If you're expecting it, then that means they're somehow
They
are
expected
looping-
us to expect
yeah,
it?
exactly. They're going to come in some way that is
Wow.
not expected.
Anyway, as this is the rebirth, I'm here, Noah, as one of your hosts. I'm here with.
Ugh, this is Tim.
And we also have who's basically not even can be considered a guest anymore.
This is my first time. My name is John. No, I'm Jacob.
That's right. That's right. You may notice we're in a really casual mood right now, and that's because today we're going to be talking about a casual topic. But before that, even though this is the rebirth, I have to make an announcement first. Tim and I talked about it, and because of school starting up, we are moving to a bi-weekly release rather than a weekly release.
2 weeks.
So every other
Monday.
will be the releases of the episodes.
Yeah.
If
Because we love you all,
Yeah.
but I also love,
not failing school.
right, and not making my brain explode.
Yes. If you're very upset about this, let us know. I mean, if everyone is really upset, I guess we could.
No. If you're really upset about this, you share it with like 5 people,
All right.
Yeah.
and then we can make this our full-time job.
Hey, yeah. You know what? I'll tell you what. If this episode specifically, if this episode gets, let's say, 200 views,
Holy
we will go back to
guacamole.
weekly.
Dang.
All right.
Gotta
How's
pump
that?
those
That is
numbers
a
up,
goal.
yeah.
We'll
That
give
is
you a
our goal.
month. We'll give you a month. If this episode in a month gets 200 views, we'll go back to weekly.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's
But-
reasonable.
All right.
All right.
So there's your
But-
incentive, people at home. You got a month. All
Okay.
right.
I think that's pretty
There we go.
reasonable. Absolutely
Anyway,
reasonable.
we have some traditions to uphold here. That tradition being, Jacob, I need to generate a
You do
question
indeed need to generate
that
a
then you
question.
need to answer and that we need to rate. And We're on a time crunch here today, listeners, because Jacob has to go to work.
I'm a working man, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so we're in a hurry today.
Jeez.
Tim, you distract while I rapidly generate a question.
Distract.
You're distracting me. I've been distracted.
So, Jacob, I gotta ask you a question, a pre-question to
I'm
the question.
processing the question.
What's your opinion of raccoons?
Oh, I love raccoons.
All right, here it comes. I'm glad you love raccoons. But we're in a hurry, as I said.
We are.
Have you ever seen Groundhog's Day with Bill Murray? That's not the question. That's a precursor.
Honest to God, I don't think I have.
Do you know the concept? It's like where he's in a time loop where he relives the same day over
Yeah,
and over
no, I
again.
couldn't have told you that was the case at all with the title
Okay.
like Groundhog Day.
Okay. Well, basically, he's like in a time loop every day.
On Groundhog's Day.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you are in that situation, and
So what is it like just starts the day and just gets to fuck around the whole day
Yeah,
and just restarts the day?
he wakes up, and then when he goes to sleep again, or if he dies or something, he
Okay.
wakes up again, and the
Okay.
day completely starts over.
And is there any significance to it happening on Groundhog Day, or it just so happens to coincide on
I don't
Groundhog
remember.
Day?
I can't remember because I think it eventually.
Or did the
gets-
groundhogs cause this?
There's like some special thing he has to do to
Some
undo the loop.
arcane groundhog wizard cast a spell.
But
upon
anyway.
Bill Murray.
If you were in this situation and there are 3 events that happened in the day, all right? 1, a throwback to an old question. The Kool-Aid Man will burst through your door at exactly 9 a.m. every morning. 2, at exactly 2 p.m. on that day, a unicorn will walk across a street.
Okay.
And at exactly 9 p.m., there will be fireworks shot at you.
At me?
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't matter where you
So,
are, that always comes at you.
First event, Kool-Aid Man bursts through the door. I'm not taking shit this time. I whip out the handgun that's in my pocket, pop 3 caps into his glass ass, and drop him.
Probably 1 would do the trick.
So now
Yeah,
I
he's
leave the
class.
house after that, and I say, "Yeah, oh yeah." After I drop
Steal
him,
the catchphrase.
yep, steal the catchphrase. And so I go out, and then I see the unicorn, in which I go, "Holy shit, it's a unicorn!"
Yeah.
And so I jump on the unicorn, and I break the unicorn, and so that becomes my unicorn. And then I presumably just on my unicorn chilling out, and then all of a sudden a shit ton of fireworks come out of nowhere. But then I dodge the fireworks because of my unicorn's magic and just sheer agility.
Well, and also, if you're in a Groundhog's Day situation, eventually you just learn everything. 'Cause it all
Exactly.
happened
I would
the
be
exact same
pretty
way.
much, I'd become a god of my own
Yeah,
trap.
well, that's essentially what happens with Bill Murray in that movie.
Yeah.
It's like he just learns the routines of everything.
That's kind of spooky.
Yeah.
Because like, does he ever get out? Does he just
Yeah, he
eternally?
does at the end.
Okay. that's
Because
good.
there's like
Poor
something
guy.
you have to, I'm not going to spoil it, but there's something you have to do to like get out of it.
Some like secret like time loop code
Yeah.
you have to do, like some cheat code. He's like crouched
weird.
a couple times or something.
Oh.
Anyway, let's keep cooking. So our topic for today, we're going to do something chill, something chillaxing, something wholesome. We're going to talk about awesome toys as well as games from our childhood. So we all grew up together almost all of our lives, the
Yeah.
3 of us. So this will be perfect.
Nostalgia lane.
So I guess
I don't think
right
that's
off
the
the
same.
bat, one of the earliest things I can remember being hype as shit for me. Did you guys ever have this red plastic toy that had this like blue thing on it with these shapes, and you'd crank this timer and it start ticking down?
Yeah.
And I think you had to put all the shapes either on it or you had to take them out or something.
Or it would
Yeah.
like pop them out or
Well,
something.
yeah, well, you
right,
could do
at
it
the
before
end.
the timer, and if you didn't, it would pop about. But I remember the intensity of my brother and I screaming, putting him on and like fumbling, like and like sweats beating us.
Yeah.
It was like, you like lose your mind.
Probably the first experience of stress as
It
a
really
child.
was. It was like diffusing a bomb, dude.
Yeah.
It was
I
unreal.
think I had one of those
I
too.
do.
Yeah,
remember
that
that.
was like truly a heart pounding.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Like, what a way to introduce kids to the world.
He really
Give them a
oh,
bomb.
man. And I guess like
Give him a bomb.
kids are startled easily too.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
like
yeah.
kids are laughing at this little
Oh,
like explosive thing
Speaking
with
of startled easily, did you guys ever have one of those little crocodiles with the teeth and you had to press the teeth?
that. Dude, that game.
And one of them would chomp down on your finger and it really hurt.
Come like middle school days, when I
yeah.
started like going on the internet more, I'd see videos of people who would replace the teeth with like razor blades. So ever
Psycho.
since I saw that, I just even
Psychopaths.
like normally playing the game, I could never just pull myself to just do it with any kind of confidence. I'd be scared shitless every time.
Oh, do you remember? I think they still make some like newer version ish of the thing.
They probably make newer versions of a lot of this stuff. yeah.
Probably, but the original Operation.
I didn't ever have Operation, but I know the concept.
You never had
What?
Operation?
Nope.
Oh
What?
my God.
Yep.
We didn't own it, but my grandparents had it.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, that was
I was really bad at it. I never could like complete a whole game. I'd always get like 90% through. I was like, beep, and it'd go off, and like, God damn it! I'd slap the table or something. That was frustrating.
Oh, that was so. That was a good one.
What made me think of this topic, because it was such like a massive part of our childhood growing up, was Nerf guns.
Dude, yes. Nerf
I
guns.
still have some.
That was our life.
That was like
That was everyone's birthday.
Right.
it's such an American fucking toy too.
Yeah.
Just let's arm your kids with customizable like child assault rifles and
But
have
the
them
thing
shoot
is,
those ones
Those ones compared to like the modern ones were nothing.
Oh yeah, they've got
Yeah.
like these. I don't know what they're called. The Nerf Vortex or something. The yellow balls or something. They go like way faster and harder.
Well, even
than
like the
new ones.
regular dart ones,
Oh,
they
'cause-
shoot way harder than
Yeah,
what we
the
had.
guns, the new
Oh, yeah.
ones, the old ones we had are nothing compared to the ones they got now. I'm
Now,
not gonna lie in that.
My
regard.
memories of Nerf wars were probably way more intense than they actually were.
Like
Oh, yeah.
Saving Private Ryan.
But yeah,
like,
I actually
PTSD.
I have memories of like cowering behind a beanbag reloading like magazines
Well,
as people
I
were shooting
remember-
around me.
a lot of Nerf wars at my house, particularly
yeah.
growing up.
Oh,
I had
yeah.
that big basement, but just picking up the darts was always the ass part. I'd always remember
Right.
like people would leave because Nerf was
And
always
they'd
so
be
fun. You'd
everywhere.
have like hours of fun and good, but you'd always have this round that would go for 15 minutes and everybody would run out of ammo. All right, everybody stop, pick up
Ceasefire,
darts. You'd all
ceasefire.
these
Pick
dudes.
up ammo.
This dude you were just trying to relentlessly pelt like 2 minutes ago, and you're just
Yeah.
walking next to like hurriedly trying to grab the darts before they do because
Yeah.
you share the same gun or something. Oh, those are always a good time.
That was.
Did you guys ever get any
Nostalgia.
like crazy Nerf guns growing up? Like, did you just have pretty normal? Just
I had
cock
one
and
that was
shoot?
like a electronic. It was like an MG and it was belt fed.
Yeah, I had that
remember
one,
that.
dude.
Yeah.
That was one of the first toys
I
that
think it's called like the Vulcan. or
Yeah,
something.
Yeah, the Vulcan.
EDR 25, dude.
I think that
If
was the
you-
only cool one I had.
If you
That
had
was
that,
really cool.
you were like the ultimate shed of
Dude,
children.
because I remember I wanted it specifically because I saw Saving Private Ryan as a child, and I saw the Germans with their MG42s, and I'm like,
Oh.
that's pretty giga.
and you're
Chad.
like, I want to be like the Nazis.
I want to mow down Americans on a beach. Well, of course, like that's what I was thinking. Like 4 years old.
That's amazing.
But I remember that was one of the first toys that like I would go to my parents and would like genuinely try to convince them to get
Yeah,
it for
okay.
me. I really.
Yeah.
wanted
I remember.
that thing.
I just thought of another cool one I had. It was like a sniper rifle, but it didn't shoot any harder than any.
Oh,
other-
right,
It was
yeah.
just really
Oh,
long.
It was that blue one, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I
Yep.
had that one too. It was pretty dog shit, honest. Like it worked.
looked
It was
cool.
reliable. It looked cool, but it was so weak compared to all the
Yeah.
others. It
Well,
was one
because
of those-
the barrel was so long,
and
on
that
it,
was
it had to
pre
travel.
the.
Did
Go
did
ahead.
you guys ever like experience where if you had two of the same like guns that one would just be inherently better than
Oh
the
yeah.
other?
Yeah, the springs were so wonky.
Well,
on
especially
those.
Yeah.
like the early one. I don't know if it was. It's not called the Maverick. The one with the
Yeah,
revolver.
That's, I had
Because
two of those.
Chris had some like early ones. I
Friend of the show,
remember.
Chris.
Yeah. Now we just shoved Chris in here. What's up,
Yeah.
Chris? If you're listening. But I remember those would be like particularly weak compared to ones that say somebody got down the line or something. Like if you
See,
got a
I
fresh
always
one.
thought the Mavericks were better than the other ones.
really.
At least my
Because
Maverick
it's
was
like-
better. Than
I was gonna
well,
say,
they
I
did,
had
mileage
one-
did vary greatly with them.
I had one that was like insanely weak, and I'm just like, and I would just like before I started any sort of a Nerf war, I would shoot both of them and see which one went farther,
Right.
and I would pick the one that just went farther.
I have to say Nerf guns, I guess combined with a little bit of G.I. Joe guns, but primarily Nerf guns, is probably what cemented my enjoyment of firearms today.
yeah.
Being because like you sit there, even especially what was it called, the Recon CS6, where it started out as this pistol, the mag fed, but you could put a stock sight.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, it was like the first customizable
Yup,
one.
you could buy it like a kit kind of
I had
thing.
that
But I remember
one.
you'd slap that thing together and you customize it how you want. And you're like, I'm gonna fuck some shit
Well,
up.
and then they started coming out with like sights and everything. It's like these don't
Like
actually do
laser
anything.
sights. No,
but-
Right,
but
yeah, exactly.
dude, you felt so cool doing it.
Yeah.
I don't. Did you guys ever have vests? Did you get, like the vest? My mom got me the vest. I could have the mag.
I
had
remember
a-
you having the
I
vest.
had
I
that,
had a
dude.
belt. I had a like a
Oh,
like a
you
sash
did,
belt.
yeah, the
bandolier.
Yeah, that's what we
Yeah.
had. That was pretty freaking
That
cool.
was so cool.
God, they were awesome.
No,
Oh,
Nerf was,
Nerf was-
probably one of the cooler toys. Out
I
there
wish
growing
we
up.
had the modern Nerf guns.
I wish
back
we did
then,
too,
though.
because we got the what
Were
was
they
the
just
blue
l-
dart ones towards the very end of us
Yeah,
using
Right.
Nerf.
That's what they
guns.
are like now. are the
Yeah,
blue
we
dart.
had just gotten introduced to them by the time you were like
Yep.
on the leaving Nerf guns.
Now they've
and
got
stuff.
like gray ones.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, I remember they just started going
weird.
crazy on themes and stuff. For a while, it was mainly just release cool looking guns and kids go wild with them. But now they're like getting brand deals. And
Nerf
stuff
or nothing.
It's
man.
Nerf or nothing.
Nerf or nothing.
No, I'm totally getting my kids Nerf guns if they're still around. Like absolutely,
The new
dude.
ones. I want some for me.
Exactly, dude. Absolutely, yeah. Like, why not, dude?
I would
buy some.
definitely like buy my kids like the mediocre ones, and then I would just like
Get the
have
good one.
I would have like an
Why
insane
don't we
one.
do
Just
like
ding
Nerf
'em.
wars? or
Yeah, we should
anything?
get some Nerf guns.
It'd be so easy.
Anybody wants to send us some Nerf guns?
Yeah, anybody got
we'll set
old
up a
Nerf
PO
guns?
box.
We will take your Nerf guns. It's a buyback, but we
I
don't give you
still
any money.
have some in a box.
I still have my old ones and they don't work. I tried taking them out one time and it's just
didn't. I had one that I spray painted.
that's
I do
cool.
remember you tried to like customize one.
It turned up decent. Like the camouflage was all right, but I remember it was one of the old recons because the recon was weird because there was the first version, then there was one with an improved spring, and then there was like the blue dart version one. So there was like 3 of them by the time that came out. I had the first one, so by the time that like we were getting kind of late in the Nerf, it just wasn't a viable option. You'd shoot and you'd watch it just arc down.
That's like
straight
how
to the
all
ground.
mine are now.
It was straight up limp dick syndrome is what those darts had. It was so bad.
To change off of Nerf now, what is because like we all like board games now. That's something about us. What's the first complex board game you remember playing that wasn't just like Trouble or Sorry?
Risk, dude.
I think I was going to say Risk too.
I think my earliest
Besides
memory,
chess. Chess is my first one probably.
Oh yeah,
I think my
Rachel and
earliest,
chess a little bit.
honestly, even before chess, I think let's see, would you count Game of Life in there or not? Or
it's still like
you're talking about like strategy.
yeah, I
games
mean like
more.
not point A to point B. you know?
Okay, I
Yeah, not a
gotcha.
race to the
Yeah,
end.
then I
kind of
would
thing.
say probably besides chess, it probably would have
Risk.
been Risk.
Yeah,
Now
honest to
Risk
God.
Risk was what I was hoping to get to with this conversation
Risk
because
was good.
I want to talk about when we used to play Risk, and I'm sure other people had a similar experience. We were so freaking intense.
We were.
Where we would make treaties. There would be alliances.
written
so like on paper,
contracts.
you're like, yeah, it's just a game of Risk. But when you go into it, you realize like, one, you're playing with your buddies on the backside, but you're also like, I want to win.
Right.
It's so like.
Well, I remember
dirty.
like one turn would take forever because people would go out of the room to have diplomacy
like,
meetings.
genuine delegation. We'd have written treaties.
Right,
We'd
and we
have
made
signatures.
rules where if you signed a treaty, you had to follow it.
had to
Oh,
obligated to stick to
we
it.
way overcomplicated
Yeah,
Risk.
but it was a lot of fun.
It just
It
made
was.
it more fun. I don't know. Those
Yeah.
complications and the extra dynamics of it just made it so much more interesting.
Like honestly, I'd still play Risk.
Well, heck, even just like,
Like it's still
and
fun.
even when somebody would just snowplow through, it was still fun because you'd have this one person who'd inevitably like say screw it, go to Australia and just hold there. So you'd have like
Always.
we're name dropping Chris again. I think it was you and Chris were facing off that one Risk game where you had like
we were rolling dice across the whole floor.
Yeah,
because
it
it
was
was so
like-
intense.
it was like a half hour straight of just dice rolling for
Oh,
casualties. Is what
right.
it was just
I
ridiculous.
remember. I think you and I had a
Probably,
thing like that because
yeah.
we were up in my
Quite literally a
the
meat
spare
grinder.
room in my parents' house, and we were just like I think I was like cornered in Australia or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
So if anybody out there played Risk, let us know. Let us know if you did like the treaties and stuff too. I'd be interested to know.
So
Yeah,
I
we
guess
were
if that was just
nerds.
an
We were
us
nerds
thing.
for Risk. Let's be honest.
Risk, and then of course I think naturally what follows at Risk is Axis and Allies. Then
That was where I was going to go into
Yup,
next.
that-
When Tim said he would still play Risk, I think I still would. I like
I would.
Axis and Allies a lot
I
better.
would-
I do too.
if I were to play Risk, what I would do is I'd look on Etsy and see if I can find a custom Risk map that like is still the world map, but maybe more territories or just different, like a
Yeah.
different. Because I
Right.
just feel like Risk after playing games like Warlight and modern strategy games, you go back to Risk and it feels so
It
limiting
feels
and small.
simplistic.
Yes,
compared to
exactly.
Axis
I
and
just feel
Allies.
like there's just a lot more that could be going on.
No,
there, and
I
that's
didn't
why it's so
play-
much more fun.
I didn't play Axis and Allies until high school. That
I
was
don't
the
think I
first
did
time-
either.
That was the first time I played it. Was back in like freshman year or something like that.
I think same because after that is when we really started like
Right.
I think it was we're gonna drop Isaac in this now
Isaac was who taught me how to play it.
because I think he
Right.
got it first and we would go to his house and
Yep.
we would play it and the games would last like 6 hours and
Right.
that too. But
Isaac's been on the show. Isaac was on the movie suggestion.
oh, that's right, Isaac
Yes.
was on the show. Yeah,
What else? Let's rewind back into childhood more. I'm thinking of games we used to just play, like not like actual like physical
Well,
games.
So in terms of games when it comes to me, we had that like knife game on the snow hill that you play.
Oh my goodness.
So you'd go out. So mind you, everybody,
What a
we went
blast from
to a
when Tim-
Catholic not high school, just Catholic school system the entire time, like private small school thing.
Yeah,
so
private
really
school.
Christian, and there's kids running around, and what they're playing is a game about shanking each other.
And literally the only rule was like if you got stabbed, you just had to lay
You had to
there
go
for
down.
like 10 seconds rather than you could get up.
I don't think
and that
there's
was
more
literally
complex
what
than
the
that.
game was.
People just wanted to kill each other,
It
man.
was
And
just
here-
literally just running around.
And here's a memory. Tim got punched in the face
yeah, I got punched
by
in
one
the
of our
ear.
classmates.
He
I got
did.
punched in the ear.
Dude,
Like,
and we swarmed him too afterwards. We got so angry at him for hitting Tim in the face in the knife game because Tim was a
Like,
wholesome
how-
no,
boy.
yeah, because
How
I was
dare
like,
you betray Tim?
I was like going after somebody else, and all of a sudden I just got socked in the side of the head. I'm like, wow, how did,
Yup.
like, because we had a rule of like a no contact rule, like we couldn't actually
I
touch
think it was
each other.
body
oh, we
stuff.
definitely
It was
touched
body,
each other.
I think it was.
Right,
You couldn't do head is what it was.
Right,
Yeah,
it was
you couldn't
only
go
body,
anything
and I
to the
just
back.
got socked.
Yeah,
in the
and you
side
get
of
like
the head.
right hooked or something by this dude.
Speaking of the
Oh.
snow hill, and I guarantee other people have this experience too. Like we had that snow hill, which was literally just all the plowed snow from the driveway,
Yeah.
from the
Yup,
parking lot.
yup.
But like when I think back and I imagine it, it felt like we were on like this big mountain.
It was like the ice wall in Game of Thrones.
but
is what it
now
looked
like I drive past it
it's tiny.
and it's a little tiny.
I remember
thing.
vast like tunnel systems of people.
Yeah.
digging
Here's a
through.
thought. Do you remember we used to like we had like a mock construction company where we'd build snow forts?
Oh,
Where
yes,
Alex, who was on Can Mario Be Stopped, was like the boss, and then he had like assistant managers,
he
and
would
we
like
would.
commission like tunnels and stuff built. And,
So
like,
we would
forward.
have people who were like the miners who would like dig
Yeah,
out
yeah.
tunnels, and
Dude,
we'd have
I
people
remember bringing like a chisel and shit from home to like pick at ice.
bro
because-
shank.
well, because like, it wasn't just snow. You know, we live
Yeah,
in a place where the snow becomes ice after a little while when
Yeah.
it sits there. So
After
it gets,
very quickly it becomes
yeah,
ice.
it becomes just solid ice.
Well, it's
so.
like-
It's very cold in the
You
Midwest.
think about it, it's like going back to that, like, you know, think about like all the foots on that snow hill, like packing it down.
oh,
That
just-
also
yeah.
just
Can we just talk about how you said all the foots?
all the foots.
all them foots.
All the
That's why I
foots.
was like, that's why I gave you a confused look. 'Cause I didn't know what you were
There was like
talking
a
about.
Windows error sound. when you said that.
all the feet.
All
But
the
yeah,
feet.
like all the people walking
All the-
around
yeah,
on that,
all the little
packing it down.
kids, yeah.
Oh, I guess tying
It was
into the
black.
Snow Hill game, we got like recess banned from us, didn't we? Because
All the boys got recess taken.
and then we
away.
like protested. Well, not we, but a chunk of the grade protested their recess
Oh,
in
that
front
was
of
so
the door.
stupid.
They were like,
What? It was something got taken away at recess, and then they protested.
we couldn't touch each other at all
Is that
for
what
any
it was?
reason. You couldn't poke anybody. for-
Pre-COVID
yeah.
social distancing.
Yeah, I know. It's simpler times.
And I remember, I think our group, because we were like our own little group, we were just like whatever, and we just
Yeah,
kept
we
going.
just didn't
and
give a
then
crap.
There was a large percentage of our grade
yeah,
who were
a
like,
vast majority.
we're
were-
just gonna stand in a line and just like not do anything for
there's
recess.
like crowded up in front of the door. But yeah,
and the teachers were just like, it
Okay.
makes our job easier.
Okay.
Yeah, like we can see you all in one place now, so
Yeah.
keep by all means. For the
do you remember-
protest.
Do you remember in elementary school, wall ball?
Yes,
Oh,
That was a
wall ball
craze
was
for
a
a
big
while.
thing. Yeah,
That was.
yeah. I do remember that.
throwing the tennis ball again.
Nah, a real throwback is the tether ball.
Middle school tether
Yeah,
Middle
ball.
school.
whacking that and dodging that thing or getting right hooked by the tether ball because you weren't paying
I think
attention
was
for a
solid.
second. Because you get dudes like Alex come up and he would just like galactic
Nail it.
punch that thing, and all of a sudden you'd see this thing swing around in a blur and it hits you, and that's your light. And all of a sudden you wake up 3 hours
Yep,
later in a different
yep,
part of
yep,
the town.
yep.
Absolutely unreal, dude.
Yeah, he set that thing into a helicopter spin.
Nah, some fond
Yeah.
memories of tether ball.
That
Something
was
about
good.
just punching a ball and watching it just whip around. It's so fun.
Oh man,
I just thought of another game that we played. This was when we were older. This was in like middle school.
I think most of our general debauchery was in middle school.
Yeah.
Most of our tomfoolery.
I remember, Jacob, you had a pool table in your basement.
yeah.
And we would all stand around the pool table, turn off all the lights.
Yeah.
Why, I don't know why we did this to
With
this day.
strobe light.
There were no rules to this game. There was a strobe light that we turned on, and we threw a ball around the circle in the strobe light. And it was just terrifying.
and it was pitch black.
Because,
it wasn't
like,
like
it was a
just
basement.
kind of
we
dark.
started
Yeah, it was pitch
and like
black.
we made like levels where we would like drop the strobe level, so there was like
Right.
it was like
How
going
frequent
faster.
the strobe
Yup.
was.
It was going faster. That was easier because then you could actually
Well,
like
and even
track
it was
the
still
ball.
weird because you'd get this weird slideshow of the ball just
Right. It was like you were seeing. It was like you were seeing in like a
your
low frame
brain
rate.
just couldn't process
And
what
then
it
all
was
of a sudden
trying
you
to
lower
see.
the strobe, like the
Just boop,
strobe
boop,
frequency,
boop, boop.
and then all of a sudden it's just like light off, light off, and it's just like for like literally like you'd see somebody flinch, and all of a sudden like the ball would be at your face.
The
It's like, oh
scariest
god,
for me was like the slower but constant like boop 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 boop, where you'd have the on off because you get dudes would fake you out. They'd like start to throw it with the light on, and you'd be like, oh god, and you think it's happening, but it's not, and then that's when the ball hits you in the face because then you're not ready anymore.
Yeah. And it's like I don't remember there being any point to it. There was no winning. There was no losing.
We can go even older with that pool table. So I think this is early high school. This was from another buddy's place, but 8-ball. Where
8-ball,
oh, 8-ball.
we'd have the just the cue ball sitting there.
So here's the rule of 8-ball. Other people have definitely played this and maybe have a different name for it. Here's what the rules we played by. It was everybody, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's been a while. Everybody who's playing stands around the pool table.
Could be any other people, just 2 or more.
There's no limit. Yeah.
Right.
You look to your left and your right just so you know who you're at,
That's
you're
your
before
order.
and who you're after. Because after the game starts, it doesn't matter where you stand.
The order stays the same, but
Yes.
you can move around the table freely to get where you need to go.
The goal is there. You have an 8-ball and you have the cue ball. The cue ball you can touch with your hand. The 8-ball you can't. And your goal is you need to hit the 8-ball with the cue ball before the 8-ball stops moving, right?
Yes.
Right.
And it starts on like the 8-ball starts just sitting somewhere and somebody has to like start
Serve
the game.
it,
Yep. And if
yeah.
you miss it 3 times in a row, you lose a life. You start with 3 lives, by the way. Like when everybody starts
so
around.
you lose a life if you can't hit the 8-ball before it stops moving, which happens more common than you think.
right.
The other way to lose a life is if somebody hits the 8-ball and it goes into a pocket before you can hit it.
Yeah.
Because that's considered it stopped
Say
moving.
Noah, say we're playing with who's here. You're before me.
Yep.
If you got it, I would lose a life.
Right.
If you were up and you smacked it and went straight into pocket, I would lose a life, and I would lose my turn then too, wouldn't I? No, I just started out. I would have to start it. Yep,
yeah.
I would have
Yeah.
to start it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so
It
simple.
was really fun.
Because you'd get moments where you'd miss it, and it's all the
Almost
way
like-
across the table. So you'd run all the way
Oh my
around
gosh.
while this
I-
ball's just spinning in
I
place.
specifically remember jumping up on the
I
table.
was
Yeah,
gonna say,
over
I'm
the
pretty
table.
sure I remember in like our like 8-9 person games, like people
Yeah.
were flying across
Sweating,
the
dude.
table.
Like you would be
Yeah.
like, you wouldn't even like, you take 2 steps. Most of it's just throwing your body through the air to get around that
people
table.
would get pushed away.
Oh
like-
yeah, because like sometimes you'd have somebody who'd be really like chuffed and would hit it super light, like
Right.
a
Yeah,
fart,
they
and
would
just
nick it.
barely be moving, so
And you
have no
can't
time.
like, you might be thinking this is easy. Oh, you just move the cue. You can't, where you grab the cue ball is where you have to throw it from.
Yeah, you
So
can't
you
slide
can't-
it up so it lines up into a super easy shot.
Right.
Like
And
that's just
it's
kinda
like with a
cheesy.
margin of error, you know, like you can like pull it back and whip it. It just has to stay in the same
It's
general
usually
spot.
pretty obvious when you see it. Like if somebody looks like they cheesed the ball to like make it line up.
Right.
Yeah, we usually would call that out. But oh my god, well, you need to get people too. There was a rule against if you hit it too hard, and if any ball left the table, you'd lose a life for that
Right.
round because they kind of
wanna break
discouraged you.
stuff.
Yeah, you didn't want people just slamming it.
What
ball
I
across
thought
the room.
was so funny was that literally like the way the game was refed was by committee. It was,
It
like,
was.
if somebody did
Somebody
like,
did something.
they're
I
really-
think it was just like all of us just like put.
How much charisma you had
essentially
in the crowd.
essentially this is how it worked. Is I'm gonna try to like formalize how it worked. It was somebody claimed that someone did something wrong, and then everybody just voted.
Yeah.
And the vote would change based on like who did it, who was winning. So it was very
you'd stake your
much-
It's
claim.
like somebody was winning. They had like 3 lives, and everyone's just like, "Dick move,
Well, yeah,
dick
people
move."
like strategizing too. They could probably even like have a genuine case for it not being a foul, but people could realize the person in question has a lot of lives. Like, you know what? Let's take the life out of it.
It was a very shafty.
It was a really shady,
refereeing
very
system.
corrupt system. That's for sure.
Hey, at least it was by consensus, right?
Yes.
Popular
If anybody has a
consensus.
pool table at home, I recommend that
Yes.
game with your friends. It is unbelievable.
Even now, I bet it'd be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I would
As
love to play it
adults.
again today.
It's just
Yeah,
none of us have pool tables.
yeah. Well, it was
I
poor.
definitely have played it recently.
It is a great game.
Yeah. What else we got? Our
Oh.
childhood.
Do you remember playing like going outside? We're moving outside with this one. Do you remember doing outdoor games such as like flashlight tag or ghost in the graveyard?
Oh,
We as a group didn't do that. Very
Yeah,
we
not as a
didn't, not
friend
as
group.
much.
But I think we all individually within our family sex or
Right.
like family
Yeah.
friend groups wound up
Yeah.
doing
Right,
it.
because I remember playing Ghost in the Graveyards a lot with my neighbor, like the neighbor kids.
Oh yeah.
And I remember playing flashlight tag a lot with the other neighbor.
Do kids
neighbor
still
kids.
do that?
I
don't
really hope they
know.
do.
I really do hope so.
Personally, flashlight tag was always kind of dumb to me because it's like
You're
I kind of got the concept of like light travels pretty far. So I'm like, wait, couldn't you just like as soon as you see somebody have this just huge beam of light and instantly get them kind of thing? It seems super easy for the flashlight people to win every time kind of thing. Unless
I think
you were
that goal is you
super
have
good
to
at hide.
actually be like on them and do it.
Okay, yeah, I never played that one too much. It was always Ghost in the Graveyard for me.
Are there
Yeah,
official
by far.
rules to Ghosts in the Graveyard? Because
I
every
have
time we
no
played,
idea.
it was just hide and seek, and the person tries to scare you.
It's
Basically.
pretty much that, but at least whenever I played
was
it,
really
if you
fun.
saw a ghost, you'd have to yell "Ghost in the Graveyard," and at that point, everybody has to run to the back of the house, and all the ghosts can then frantically try to catch people. Everybody's panicking.
basically
That's
Yes.
probably actually
Yeah.
how you're supposed to
Because you go
play it.
out, the ghosts hide, and the people are supposed to. I think there's some objective you have to find as the ghost hunters or something. And then once you see one, then he's like, "Oh, ghost in the graveyard," and then you have
Then
to
you
get
run.
back to the. Yeah, that's the goal.
That
then,
makes a lot
to get
more
back
sense.
to the house.
Yeah, that's how we
it.
played it. That's how we played it was.
Okay.
That game was
like that.
terrible. I remember at least as a child.
Oh, I
that
got
game was
one.
scary.
Another outside one.
Yeah?
I remember this was a winter specific one.
Oh, wow.
Protect the president.
Protect the president.
Where
Yes.
the game was you had to make it all the way around the house. There was a president. There was usually like 2 guards, and then
Yup.
everyone else who was there were like assassins. And their goal was they had to hit the president with the snowball.
Spooky, yeah.
And it was the job of the bodyguards could get hit, and then they could get back up after like a few seconds.
And if anybody, I don't know if it, like, I'm assuming most of the people who listen to this are from the Midwest as well, but anybody who hasn't been walking through like anywhere in the winter area, it's quiet as hell.
Yeah.
So you're walking
It
through,
is.
you got the crunch of your
all you hear is
footsteps, a little bit of chattering between like the president's guards, and you're just waiting
For the
for something to
assassins to
happen.
pop
It's terrifying. It's so dark
Yeah.
outside, and it's so silent because the
Yep.
snow is such a good insulator for sound. It is just,
Yep.
it's so scary. It's
more-
eerie.
yeah.
And it was so fun because like your job as like the buyers was really just to jump in front of snowballs. That was the point of the
Yep.
game.
Yep,
was to
you had
shield
to-
the president.
And they could only take one, right? And they'd be like,
The
dead.
president could only take one. The bodyguards, I think, depending on how many people we had, sometimes they could get up again.
I
Some-
think that it was pretty fluid rule on the
Yeah.
bodyguards' lives, but for the most part, the president could only take one.
the president could always only take one.
Because I do
That was
think
the
I remember
goal.
sometimes where the bodyguards could just take as many as they needed to, kind of thing, and sometimes it'd be like they could only take one life, and then
That
the
was
president kinda has only
always such a
3
fun
lives in
one.
sense.
I love
And I think
that
the
game.
assassins could only take one always.
And didn't we do something similar? I guess getting a little even older now in comparison, playing.
We did it in paintball,
Yeah,
too.
I'd say with
Yeah.
paintball, that was even more terrifying.
There's another formulative part of our childhoods, I think. was
Yes.
Oh,
paintball.
yeah.
that was a pretty solid.
Most definitely. If anybody out there has ever wanted to do paintball and hasn't,
Just
Do
do
it.
it. It's fun.
do
It
it.
is.
It
It's
is
so fun.
absolutely have somebody shoot you right away
Yeah, probably.
so
Just to
that
get
you're
that
not
part done.
terrified
Yeah, just
of
get that
getting
part done.
shot.
I'm
'Cause-
sure a lot of groups do stuff like this, but our thing was if you were new to the group, you had to play around with all the new people, which was usually only like 1, 2, or 3.
Because we had like
versus
a
everyone
mini, quote
else.
unquote like team for us. We had like a
Right.
group that we would play with. Yeah.
Team is probably not the right word because we would all play against each
Yeah,
other,
we'd
but
all-
group.
yeah, a group is a better word for it. But yeah, you have to play one.
And
man
we even
versus
had like a
whole
ranking system that was based on like how
Right.
long you had played. So
group
it was
experience stuff.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, it
for
was
us. But
fun.
anyway, we totally did like a hazing thing where it was them against the entire group.
Yeah.
I even remember like when we would do the hazing thing, we'd be like, hey, I remember specifically with 3 of our friends where they went out and then we were all together and I was like, okay, guys, we're going to do this thing. And we told them like if they could win because if they shoot us, we have to go out. And I remember telling all of you guys like, yeah, if they hit you, don't go out.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do remember that. It's like,
Yeah.
don't
They're
go
going
out.
to die.
They're going.
Yeah.
They have to.
There are sometimes like genuinely like some moments where you kind of forget that it is just paintball because you hear the zip of them sometimes.
It
like,
hurts,
laying
too.
down.
There's
It does.
genuine fear.
There is. Yeah, there's
Oh,
a
yeah.
fear of not
Which
getting hit.
is why I think paintball is better than airsoft because now people can fight me on this,
Yeah.
but it's like airsoft does not have that same genuine fear that paintball has.
No.
because
paintball's
like
got
it,
the
it
impact
pinches
to
like
it.
if you're like airsoft, like if you're wearing light
They don't have enough
clothing,
mass.
it's
There's
like
just not enough
it
mass
pinches
behind
a
the
little bit.
ammunition.
Paintball's like
It hurts.
It hurts. Like,
it is
it
not a
will-
pleasant experience.
it will leave a bruise. Like
It feels like a bee sting.
right,
Yeah,
it does.
no, it's a solid
You-
thhlap
you
too. You
know,
feel it. You
you
know,
know you
absolutely
got
a
it.
hit.
Yeah. So that
Just
is-
when you're laying, and plus like they break branches and stuff too. So like especially where we went, they had like the old forts where they were
Yep.
like the
Yeah.
tree branches and stuff. You'd hear
sticks breaking around, you
sticks are
stuff
breaking, like,
splattering.
oh
all
my
over the
gosh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
die, man!
Some
Like,
of the
it's-
most intense moments I remember were when you're like hiding behind a piece of cover and it's paint. So when it hits, it splatters.
Oh yeah, so
and
just
you're
getting coated in
behind
paint.
some cover and people are peppering you. It's like you're just getting splatter all over you.
Yeah,
You
can
can't
barely
see anything.
All you can do is point your barrel over the cover and just
hope
shoot
for
their
the-
general
hope someone
direction.
comes and saves you.
Yeah, you're like,
Basically.
I'm going to die here.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
So it's like, yeah, I think there's more of an adrenaline rush and genuine fear. And people aren't stupid like they are in airsoft where they just run out in paintball because
It
there is
hurts.
that
It
it's gonna
hurts.
hurt.
Yeah, it's
You
gonna
know,
hurt.
one, you're fine. You know, like it feels like a bee sting, it hurts, it sucks. But if you get lit
Oh
up,
yeah, you're
it
not
is-
going to be happy.
it's not
about
a good
it. Yeah,
experience.
you're going to
Right.
probably be a little reluctant to go out
no, it's
another
like
round.
if anything, that's why I like paintball so much more. It's just because like you get that actual like sense of like,
Plus,
okay,
even
we
just
got to
yeah.
try.
guns shooting. I guess like with airsoft, you'd always get the cheap spring guns where you cock shoot, or you get the electronic ones like wheat when you shoot.
Yeah.
But with paintball, you get this gas pneumatic sound. It's got a just punchier. It sounds kind of like a gun kind of thing. So you
Yeah,
get this sense of
right.
impact. It's just
Do you
way more
remember? Oh,
immersive.
do you remember? Okay, so this is a little bit more specific into paintball. Do you remember the Civil War game
Yeah.
or the Revolutionary version
We
game?
called it Civil War, but it was definitely more
Revolutionary.
Yeah, more like say 1700s.
Civil War
Thing.
sounds better.
Civil
Oh,
War does
it
sound
was
better.
so fun. So basically, the idea behind that one was basically we took off the hoppers because paintball guns have hoppers.
It's basically just a big cup that's full of paintballs.
Yeah,
it
essentially.
feeds the paint into the
we
gun.
took those off and we
Yeah.
had just a pocket full of like individual paintballs and we
Yep.
stood at the other like opposite ends of the field in a line.
Yes.
You were not allowed to move
correct.
and you had to single-handedly like load ball by ball
Yep.
and you had turns like taking volleys
think-
at the other
Oh,
team.
no, I think we had to. I think at first we wanted to manually load them, but then we realized like you had to because when you had gas in them, it would just reciprocate the bolt already closed kind of thing.
Right.
So I think what we decided, I think what we did is had the
We
hopper
kept the hoppers
and we
on.
kneeled kind of thing is what we did. We had like a 2 or 3 second count where you'd had to kneel on one leg and then stand up, aim, and then shoot
Yeah.
one,
And
and then aim up.
The
kneel.
most terrifying thing I think was when you got hit and then you had to just lay down.
Oh yeah, you had to die and just like you
Yeah.
could just leave like
so
normal
you
paintball.
could get hit again by
You
just
usually
laying
did.
there.
Oh
because
yeah.
for people who don't know, paintballs, they're balls and they just kind of get thrown out of there. So they have quite the tendency to curve.
Yup.
And-
All
I
over
mean,
the place.
They're still pretty accurate. You know, like you can hit your target at,
within a
let's say 20 yards within probably a 2 foot. 2 foot
pretty,
margin of error.
pretty reliably in most paintball courses kind of thing. Even like cross mapping's not too
But
hard.
you
kinda
get
thing.
stray paintballs.
Oh yeah,
a good amount of
Starting
time.
A little distance. it
So
gets
exactly
wild.
what Tim's talking about, you're laying there. I remember one time we played in winter. And I remember one time specifically, like, because you get hit and you drop, laying there and seeing them hit the ground and skidding across the snow.
You're bouncing like please don't. And that you
'Cause
see, like,
again-
dirt fly up.
Because again, it hurts.
It does.
You don't want it to happen.
So you're laying there on the ground watching this ball, like in slow mo, because they're slow enough where you can see them, you can
Right.
watch them,
Oh yeah, you can watch the track.
and you see it bouncing across the ground.
Oh,
at
it's
you.
like watching a
gosh, it's
skipping stone
terrifying.
come towards your face.
All right, Jacob's got to leave pretty quick here, so let's get one more in.
One more
and then we'll wrap.
nostalgic thing from earlier
Gotta be-
childhood.
oh, I guess. It wouldn't really relate to Tim. You were pretty late to the show, but I guess a lot of just video games in general was, of course, it's a pretty
Yeah.
cliche one for groups, but that was just
That's a big
super
way we
formative
became
one.
friends, you and I.
Yup. I know Black Ops Zombies particularly back in
Me,
like
you,
2010.
Zach, and Alex.
We'd just grind and it
Yeah.
actually I remember going to bed and being genuinely afraid of the zombies at first because I was like a 10-year-old boy showing up playing it.
Here's a memory that I'm sure some people out there can relate to. I know some people can. Do you remember when PlayStation got hacked and was down for like 3 weeks?
Dude, that broke me.
The memory, I think it was over summer too.
Yep.
The memory I specifically remember was my mom getting a call from your mom saying that the PlayStation servers were up.
Yeah, I remember like trying to go on and being like, why can't I connect? And I tried over and over and over again, and like eventually I was getting pretty worked up about it. We looked it up and saw that, and just the defeat I
Yep.
felt, dude.
And here's the thing. Back then, for all you young folks, now I sound like an old person. Like, I know I didn't get a phone till I was older. I don't think any of us did.
No.
It
So
was
the only way
absolutely
we
not.
could contact each other was calling the other person's house phone and say, "Can I talk to Jacob?"
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or PlayStation, and now
Yeah.
we couldn't contact
Right.
either PlayStation.
So we lost
Yeah.
a way of communicating with each other. And
Yeah, I got
we
a
no
phone
kidding
pretty
did
late
this
in.
for hours.
Oh,
Every
that was our day
day.
pretty much. Once that came into the picture, it was just games. And heck,
Yep.
even
Yeah.
now, like now you got like a PC and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
too. And it's been whenever we can with the boys
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff. We
Yeah.
go over the games. It's just I don't know. Nothing beats just going on and just shooting the shit with the lads on
Yeah.
some game or something. Whether it is
Yeah, I think that's a good spot to stop. If anybody has can relate to any of these things or has stories, share them with us. Send them to fullofshtpod@gmail.com. That's shit without an I. It's in the description. You can also message us on Instagram and Facebook. We have pages there. We're glad to be back after those 2 weeks. And like we said, we'll see you 2 weeks from now, unless we get those. I just had a burp. Unless we get those 2,000 views. Or 2,000.
200. Holy Christ
2,000.
You know what?
almighty.
If we get 2,000 views, we'll do one a day.
Dude, I would lose my mind.
If we get 2,000,
Yeah.
we will get a camera and we will record these via video. We will reveal our faces.
Yeah,
for
there's
that.
some incentive. 2,000 in a month.
2,000. I'd be able to put my face out there for 2,000 views
yeah.
a month. Absolutely.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. As always, you can help us best by sharing with a friend. And if you want us to get to that 200 or even 2,000 goal, the 200 is a little more realistic. Sharing is the only way that's possibly going to happen. So if you could help us out. Mitch, Math Man of the podcast, welcome back to listening. He told me recently he started listening again because he took a little break.
Ah, yeah. He
But
messaged me the other day about the last episode.
He's back.
How dare he take a break?
So welcome back, Mitch, and we'll see everybody 2 weeks from now. Bye.
Bye-bye.